We all suffer. We carry mental, physical, and emotional pain, as well as the other suffering, where there's a gap between where we are and where we want to be. We either strive for something we don't have, or we feel guilty, or we beat ourselves up over things we don't do. And so there's all this stuff that causes a blockage, and we get stuck. And I know how that feels. I've been stuck too. I've overcome a lot, dealt with a lot, and I won't go into it, but many of you are suffering too. And the point here is, I feel you. You know, I've been around the block a time or three, and it ain't easy. It ain't easy. But what I learned is, through dealing with a lot of tough pain, okay, if you're honest, if you're willing, and if you show up to do the work, you can take the negative pain and you can clear it to the best of your ability, or process it to the point where it's not holding you back from the rest of your life. I've felt pain, physical pain. I was a professional bike racer for over 9 years. I raced for 17 years. I'd be going up a hill just dying. My legs are screaming at me. My heart rate monitor is beeping away. My heart rate's 200, which is maximum. Like, my body physically, we've tested it. We know I can't go any harder than that. And I'm ready to quit. I'm ready to give up, but I don't. Because I know the minute that the trail flattens out a little bit, I'll get some relief. And my heart rate can drop 60 beats a minute. So in less than a minute, I'm okay. So I just got to hang in there. I'm willing to do the work. I know that pain is coming. I'm there for a reason. So it's not the kind of pain we're really talking about, though. But it's an example of, here's one end of the spectrum where I signed up for it. I knew it was coming. And I was willing to do whatever it took to go through that. I started bike racing to give up a 13-year drug addiction. So it was kind of a trade-up, you know? So that was important to me at a time in my life when I really needed it. You know, and I know what it's like. And I also know the other end. I was clinically depressed for 2 years, twice, 12 years apart. I get it. I get it. Positive change is possible, but you got to do the work. You got to be honest with yourself and others, and you have to be willing to face it. You have to be willing to suffer and get through that pain. And if you can do those 3 things, maybe you can make up that gap from where you are now to where you want to be. You know, I told another story not too long ago that I've had a lot of highs and lows in my life. And I'm a little weird. I write a lot of stuff down. And I know what periods of my life and what events in my life, even if it's self-induced, were my lows. And so I had all these lows. And then I had a lot of highs between, but I had more lows than highs. And I know you know what that feels like, some of you, you know. But for every time I had a low, I dug into it. I figured it out. I developed a tool, or found a tool, or whatever. I figured it out. So for all those lows, there were more than the highs. I was able to solve it. I overcame it. So for as many lows, I had more solutions in my life that I was able to figure out to overcome the lows. And then I got back to the good stuff. And so you can go to YouTube, you can go to my YouTube channel, Roger Ray Bird, and you can look at the long format video we did. It's kind of tough, you know. It's worth the hour and a half if you're really having trouble or you have friends or family that are having trouble. But the point I want to make today is you got to be honest with yourself, however you do that. I have some tools. I'll share them with you later. The next thing is, after being honest, you have to be willing to do the work. So for whatever is keeping you from the life you want to have, if you're too afraid to look at it, then it's not time. You know, and maybe you're already working with your therapist, maybe you're already on medication. Great, keep doing that. Keep doing that. I am not a clinical psychologist. I am not an alcohol and drug addiction counselor. I dropped out of high school after the 10th grade. I graduated the 10th grade. But I could argue that ever since the 7th grade, I was walking around in a cloudy psychedelic haze. But I made it through 10th grade, and that was the end of my academic career. So I only know what I know. But I've worked very, very hard on this stuff. And I have a lot of tools that work for me. And I want to share them with you. And maybe they don't work for you. But maybe you can take it and modify it for your own. Or give it to your friend. Give it to your family member who's having a hard time. And if those guys are tuning in, I want you to go look at that long video. I really do. Because it's probably going to be something you've never seen before. And something you've never heard before. And I hope it motivates you, because I needed motivation when I was younger and I didn't get it. And I had to tough it out on my own. But here I am, right? Done a lot of great stuff. I've done a lot of great stuff. And I know I got a lot more great stuff to do. And for the people that are really hurting and in a lot of trouble, it's possible. Okay? So go check it out. Thank you.